have no option but to create, to produce. Any creative force that piques my interest, I cannot help but grasp tightly and wordlessly vow never to let go. Each medium I choose, visual art, poetry, music, inform one another, enrich and involve parallel to one another. Poetry has been a vital aspect of me ever since I learned to read and write on my own, and oh how harmoniously I have found it to intertwine with music. With emotions and opinions being sung with voice inflections and accentuation rather than being read, and the guitar restoring a balance I hadn't known was absent, adding to an intended mood or setting an appropriate pace. Music is dreadfully important to me, as it is to many individuals. But why does creating songs of my own seem so imperative to my existence? I picked up the guitar freshman year of high school, an old, untuned Squier, an electric guitar without an amp. This was a dark period of my life, fraught with depression and anxiety, for which, at the time, I saw no possible escape. Instead, I spent countless hours in isolation, locked in my room, accompanied only by that Squier and a plethora of notebooks. Those notebooks were filled with poetry about death, frustration, and solitude. Eventually, rudimentary chords were paired with words unrhymed until I was able to budge from my stubborn free-verse elitism, reasoning that if Joni Mitchell and the Grateful Dead wrote lyrics that rhymed, then it mustn't be that lame. Amidst a time and situation that I couldn't speed up and couldn't forego, creating music was my optimal escape. I was able to let go only through confronting my anger at society, conformity, my peers, and myself. There is something undeniably therapeutic about addressing feelings and thoughts, giving words a chosen sound, and then belting it all out, the ultimate release.
As she started to grow and develop as her own self, that's when her music became really diverse as well.
But how long will I wait for you to realize that the truth's not true? Anger seeps into a smooth wave of pale yellow and rouge, but somehow it lingers still, impeding my freedom of will.
Although much of the pain I experienced then has subsided, it has become innate for me to utilize my music as an outlet for ridding of negative emotions as well as expressing positive ones. At the beginning, the negativity that impeded me consumed my everyday life. I had no choice but to be painfully aware of exactly what I was feeling and was very conscious of my radical opinions. There is some part of me that misses that raw and fresh energy because it gave me very genuine content to write about. However, no longer having all of that original material right in front of me has exposed a new beauty in songwriting. As I jot down strings of thought and claim it to be poetry, I rarely am very conscious of the content I am scribbling. It is only when I read back on the words that have come together to make an original tune that my message truly becomes clear to me. Oftentimes, I hadn't admitted to myself that I was feeling a certain way or thinking certain thoughts until it was shoved right in my face, screaming, "Look at me, listen, I know better than you." So although my conscious mind may not clearly decipher such thoughts as naturally as they used to, my independent hand and subconscious mind scheme against me, working together to expose themselves to me. Music is universal. It varies amongst differing cultures, eras, species even. Whether you dance to it, sing along, listen, or play, one must admit that music fills a part of us that couldn't be satiated by anything else. It evokes happiness. It provides a companion sympathizing in your sorrow. I can't help but contribute myself, express my own joys and sorrows, and maybe someday someone will listen and relate.